Here we are at episode 22, guys. Gonna start putting these things back in here. Can you believe we've come this far? Is this not the coolest series on YouTube? Come on, you gotta give this thing a like. You got to be subscribed to this channel and you gotta be enjoying this stuff. And if you've been following along from the beginning, leave me a comment and let me know. All right, so I just wanna show you guys a few things. This is bank one. There's a few ways to tell. It's got our water pump access over there. On the bottom it has cylinders 1, 2, and 3 marked along the bottom, and maybe the easiest way is if you just look in the cylinders. You see how they are smooth and they go all the way through. Well, this is bank 2, and in comparison you see how these cylinders have holes down here. All right, it's even easier to see from the inside. You see they have holes running all the way through them. That is so that you can unscrew this plug down here and you can stick a tool in, and that's how you have to attach the pistons for bank 2. So the bank 2 ones are much more difficult. In fact, I'm gonna guess that's gonna be the very hardest part of rebuilding this engine. If you remember back to this crank assembly that I started disconnecting, I took the pistons off of the rods on bank 2 because you leave these attached on here and you have to attach this piece through the hole in that block over there. And so that's going to be the hard one for bank 1. What I'm about to do is, you see I still have them attached. What I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect the rods from here, and I'm going to put the pistons with the rods already attached into here, so that all I have to do is reconnect the rods around the crank here. So much different process. It's a much easier process, so it's a good one to start on. So if we look at this guy, you can see that this is the caps on the back that are around our crank, and these ones in the back are connected to the rods coming out this side that are going to go into bank 1. So I am going to first disconnect them from the back. Then I'm going to take the rod and piston while it's connected. I'm going to stick it into here, and then once this whole unit is mounted back in the case, I can simply connect the back of the rod back to the crank, and that part won't be too difficult. All right, so this is where our flywheel is gonna go. This is bank 2, I know because I removed the pistons from bank 2. And so for our car, for the Boxster and for the Cayman, the flywheel goes towards the back of the car. And starting at the flywheel, we have 6, 5, and 4 are our cylinders on this side. On the other side, it goes 3, 2, 1. So I'm gonna go ahead and use a paint marker and mark them to make it easier for me to remember during this process. So I guess I should probably clean these off a little, but that's all right. Oops. Yeah, I just said 6, 5, 4, and then I write 4 on here. All right. All right, I guess I should probably clean this off before I do it so this will actually stick, but that's okay. 6 is here, 5, and 4. I'll go ahead and mark the other side while I'm at it. All right, I'm going to disconnect the connecting rod now. So this here is a 12 point, I believe, the one with lots of points. 10mm socket, and I'm putting it on a larger guy here because it's going to be very tight. him started. And as usual, it would be nice to have two people. I'm just gonna put one knee on the back end of this thing so it doesn't come up. Okay, got it loose. As soon as they're loose, they're really loose. All right, I'm going to remove these bolts. I'm going to remember the order that they were in. Okay, top and bottom. Now I'm just going to hold the piston over here, gently separate it. And remember the orientation because they have to go back the way they were cracked. So I will line them up like this. And I'm just going to go ahead and take my marker again and mark right here. So this marked side will be the side that went closest to the intermediate shaft, which is just off screen on top of the camera. See, intermediate shaft up there. All right. So these parts go together, and this came off of cylinder 3. So I'm gonna just go ahead and mark A3 right here. And then I'm just gonna loosely put our bolts back in here so they stay in the same holes. All right, now I'm gonna set this aside and I'm just gonna repeat the process for cylinder 2 and cylinder 1 over here. All right, there we go. 3, 2, and 1, all removed. The next thing I'm gonna do is drop these into the parts washer to clean them up some. So I'm just gonna do them one at a time and remember where those marks are, because now that I'm saying this out loud, I'm about to wipe those marks off and we'll have to put them back on again. All right, we got number 3 coming into the parts washer. And yes, normally I would be not cleaning it like this. I would disassemble everything, rings, each part would be separate and cleaned, but you know the drill. With this engine, we're taking shortcuts because it's not gonna be a running engine again, I'm guessing. So, turn this on. And oh good, my paint is not coming off, so I don't have to repaint them. All right, I want to see how this cleans up with a brush. All right, now I'm going to guess that it's improper to actually use a metal brush like this to scrub your pistons. I would just let it sit for a long time, probably. Oh look, there's even markings on it. All right, again, seeing as it doesn't really matter if they're really clean, I'm just gonna leave it here and let it dry. I will come back and add oil to all of the moving parts, and especially here. One down. Oh, all right, just a quick side-by-side before and after of these guys. All right, exciting. We are gonna start putting some chains on. So this is the chain that used to go on the back side over here. And the one that was on the front, you'll recall, is my one that got snapped. But they should be the same. And since I don't have the replacement one of these in yet, we're just gonna swap them. And I'm gonna put this one over here. So just tuck him behind this guy. Let him dangle here for now. And then we have our drive chain that goes on the IMS here, and you can just lift it up, tuck him under there, and he connects. All right, tuck it under the pin. Come here. Like so, and it will be squeezed in here with some stuff that we are about to install. All right, we bagged this earlier, our IMS tensioner paddle. Just gonna take that out of the bag. And hopefully you kept these two pieces as well. We got a washer and one of these guys. So this thing has a big long wear pad that snaps off. It's plastic, you can replace it if it is worn, and like a little wear button thing. It's also plastic on mine. I hear some of the earlier cars had a metal one that you can't replace, but yeah, that's what this thing looks like. And we got our IMS chain guide, and it's 3 bolts in another bag. All right. Oops, this guy just fell out. Make sure he goes back in there. All right, so you can see that this side of them stick out just a little bit. These are the spacers essentially. So they're the ones that are going to go towards our block, and it's going to hold this tight over here. So, just gonna set this in place. Thread our bolts in. Try to get the dirt off our bolts. Just gonna tighten these all up by hand. Very important to make sure the teeth are engaged here. All right, for my vehicle, these are supposed to be 10 Newton meters, so I'm just gonna go ahead and torque all 3 down. So not very tight. So you probably want to lube that and lube this because they touch the chain. Again, I'm being lazy. So that's what this pin is for, if you recall from when we disassembled this guy. So we just have to squeeze our chain in again, slide him over the pin, and The top up here is what our chain tensioner pushes against, so therefore you can see how it tensions the chain. And this is held on into place with, oops, give me that little guy, our washer. And the clip. So I recall from taking this off that these were just barely small enough to do it. All right, so now I just have to pull it apart a little bit, slip it back on there. Oh yeah, there we go, beautiful. All right, don't stretch that thing out, just enough to get it on. Make sure that's locked in place. You can spin it just a little bit with these. All right, tug on this thing. All right, he's not coming off. Ta-da! All right, so this is what it looks like now. We are reassembling. It's killing me, these parts. I need that chain there because the next step is I'm going to take this block and I'm going to drop it onto here. So when we do go to drop this thing in, the chain that I put on is going to drop down through here, and the other chain is going to go through the Bank 2 case, but that intermediate shaft is going to lay right across here into this little channel, and the sprocket, of course, is right here, so the chain has to be under it already when I put this thing in place, because I won't be able to lift it up and tuck the chain under later. So I'm stuck until I get a chain. But that's what's coming up next. We're gonna put this in, we're going to attach it so that we can flip this thing upside down without it falling out. And then we will, when this is upside down the other way, we'll go ahead and stick the pistons down inside. So that's what's coming up next, guys. Thanks for watching. See you soon.